And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am most definitely E. And we are back for another week of Head to Head, some discussions and all those shenanigans. Right now we have just one of our co-hosts, Ms. Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
I'm doing great. And I see that we are matching today.
I knew you were going to say that. That's a coincidence, Lori.
Nope, it was meant to be.
Relax. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in for another week of Head to Head. We are streaming live and direct on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook Live, YouTube. You good? Yeah, I can hear all that. As well, I hear it. It was loud. Amazon Fire TV as well as Roku TV. And please, we are currently on our drive to 10,000, a very, very aggressive goal that we have to grow our subscribership on our YouTube platform as well. We're nowhere near there now, but with your help, we will get there sooner than later. So please do us a couple of favors. If you go to YouTube, please look for Empower TV. If you put that in the search, it will pop up. Do us a favor. Please share the channel so that others will be able to see it. But most importantly, like it. There's some videos already up on there, quite a few. Please watch it because it does help with the algorithms too. The more viewerships and watches that we actually get off of the platform, it does start to reach generic folks out there that do get exposed to the channel as well. So we're trying to continuously grow the channel and get more folks engaged. And whether folks are engaging with us from a live standpoint or whether they're going back and watching shows and clips later, we appreciate it just the same. And on that note, we do get quite a bit of folks that may not be able to watch the show live, but we do see where they are going back and doing rewatches on the platform once the show concludes. So we certainly do appreciate that wholeheartedly. Also, as part of having the platform, we do like to give back. So we like to be able to promote I'm sorry, that will get me distracted every time. We do like to promote businesses. We do like to promote events and things like that. So if you're a business owner and you would like to promote your goods or services, or you're an event planner and you have an event coming up and you want more and more people to know about, because of the reach of Amazon and Roku and YouTube and all those different types of things, we would love to partner with you and be able to advertise. One of those advertisements that we do, it's called Sawyer, Kid Lawyer, and here it is. Or not. Introducing Sawyer, Kid Lawyer, Teacher versus Nap Time, a great book that will help your little one with reading, writing, and spelling. Coming from the authors Shanine and Sheldon Muldrow. Please check this book out and support. Thank you so much. And now, not only do we do that we promote children's books, but we also have some steamy adult books where there's some weekend shenanigans going on and all those things. Author Catherine Y. Waddell has come out with her book called Moments the Weekend, and we would like to show you a clip from that. Play that clip. All right. We'll play a few more a little later on in the show. Lori's a little slow today. She's singing for her dinner apparently as the producer. So y'all send her your thoughts and prayers as this may or may not be her last show. Anyway, how you doing, Lori?
It's not going to be my last show.
Okay. Confidence is good if not misguided. But anyway, so we wanted to cover a couple of topics today. One of the first ones I wanted to talk about, uh, which is a little bit surprising, maybe, but it shouldn't be. We talk about a lot of different things. But Lori, I know that you were not one of the 12.3 million that viewed the LSU-Iowa game this past Monday in the Elite Eight of women's college basketball.
No, I did not. But I did hear from a lot of other people that did watch the game and informed me about what was going on. A fantastic game.
It was a fantastic game. 12.3 million people watched on all of ESPN's platforms. So whether it was regular ESPN, ESPN Plus, mobile ESPN, they were able to capture 12.3 million viewers, which is a record for a women's college basketball game. Only to have only outdone last year's previous championship game of 9.9 million viewers that featured LSU and Iowa. So last year, these two teams actually met at the very end. This time, it was in the Elite Eight with the Final Four on the line. So one team is now going to the Final Four, which ended up being Iowa. They did end up beating LSU 94 to 87, powered by Iowa's Caitlin Clark, who had 41 points. And there's always this, and she's been heralded as the best women's college basketball player um, in a long time, if not period. Which I would have some things to say about that because I've seen Cheryl Swoops, I've seen Lisa Leslie, I've seen Brittany Griner, um, I've seen Candace Parker. Uh, it goes on and on and on. So I was, she's up there for sure. I ain't trying to take the girl's shine away from her, but I would always say, sometimes what people remember is the last thing that they see, and sometimes they kind of have to go back and put it in better perspective, or it kind of sometimes depends on who you're talking to because maybe they just didn't live through that era or they weren't as cognizant of women's college basketball at that time. But I can definitely say, hey, let me bring in this guy because this guy was pretty good on the basketball court too. He was all right. I used to dunk on him all the time, though, Lori. I mean, I just do all these reverses on him, and he just could not guard me or check me. A little slow, and all that, but he did all right himself. So let's bring him in. Let's talk about this with the franchise, Mr. Jermaine Parker. How you doing, sir?
Whatever you say, if it's true, it's true.
Your mic is just a tidbit low, but it's okay. I heard you. Oh man, we were talking about the Iowa LSU game, breaking the women's college basketball record with 12.3 million views this past Monday, breaking the record of 9.9 million views from their final last year in the NCAA tournament. But this year they met up in the Elite Eight with the Final Four on the line, and it did not disappoint. Like I said, 12.3 million viewers, headed off by Caitlin Clark's 41 points. Angel Reese put in 17 points before she fouled out on a bull crap call. I hate this charging call where somebody can step in front of you at the last minute without getting their feet set, and they call it offensive. And she was not even inside the box. The girl had 1 foot outside of the box. That is supposed to go to the offensive player.
Okay, I think you're conflating rules here. The NBA was so distressed about that they actually put a circle in there that you had to be outside of. You don't have to be outside the box, outside the free throw box. That's not a rule. If you look at it from overview, she did set her feet. It was a charge.
She slid her right foot in the
You're
last
you're
space.
you're yep. You're allowed to do that. She set her feet. It was her space. She claimed it. Doesn't matter if she claimed it the last second. She claimed it.
But if her foot was still moving, that's not being set.
So the thing too that we have to understand is these refs aren't working with a play-by-play replay.
Facts.
They're working in real time,
Right.
and in real time, like you don't see that little bit of foot still moving. You see that she jump stopped into place and that she was in position. And here's the thing, really. A couple things about the college game and stuff. The reason that women's basketball is way more interesting is that what you brought out is that they met in the championship last year.
Yeah.
How many top men's players from the tournament this year are going to be in college next year?
Oh no, because like these guys at like Purdue, like Etney and all of them, they're gone. They got to be gone.
Yeah, and so there's no incentive for males or even females now. Well, actually, I take it with the NIT, the deals that they get now, where they can market and stuff. There's more incentive for them to stay in school for them. But they're in as Ice Cube offered Caitlin that
Big Three.
What was it? Was it a $5 million, $3 million, something $1 million?
Yeah, to join the Big Three.
Join Big Three, and they said the most that she'll make next year in the WNBA is like 250 or 750, something crazy.
Yeah, the minimum salary in the WNBA, I think it's about 70,000 or 100,000 now.
She makes more money in college right now.
And the minimum salary in the NBA is $1.1 million. So even the guy that sits at the end of the bench that doesn't do anything or rarely gets into a game makes $1.1 million. The knock has always been that a lot of these female players, if they want to be able to make income, a lot of times they have to go overseas and play for a lot of these European teams. And it's kind of crazy because the guys don't have to do that like in the off season to be able to make money. They don't have to go over and play in Europe or something like that. But a lot of the women, because the WNBA's pay scale, and pay scales are attached to attendance. So this is a really, really good thing for women's sports because the more and more calls that start to get on this game, or when you can fall in love with players from the college level and then they move over to the WNBA, it'll help with that attendance as well. I'm fully believing that. I mean, who isn't going to want to see Angel Reese when she gets to the WNBA? And these girls that followed her in college now want to be able to go see Angel Reese play professionally. Or the same thing with Clark.
History says most people will be disinterested in that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Great players, great teams, great games. And again, I point out that a lot of their success is really tied into what limits women as players and stuff. That they don't have the WNBA isn't as popular, it isn't as profitable. So they don't get to just jump out like the males do, which is why college men's basketball is losing its viewership. Is because you really, a lot of people say that they root for the the name on the front of the jersey as opposed to the name on the back of the jersey. But when the name on the back of the jersey turns over every year, uh, it's tough. What's the incentive? It's such going to get better next year. Is because every team basically resets every year, and
Yeah.
you're like, who had a better draft class or recruiting class? Excuse me, recruiting class for college, and then those are your favorites going in next year. It's not like when UConn, if UConn was to win this year, you go back saying, hey, well, UConn is the favorite to win next year. Well, no, they're not, because all those people, and again, incentive wise, if I can go to the league, I'm going to the league. And
Yeah.
I mean, it makes good sense business wise too. I'm not begrudging any of that behavior. It's just the way that the economics have shaped the landscape. What's up, CJ?
What's up, CJ? A little better. Yeah, a little better. Still got a little something in the back, picking it up. That's
He
okay.
just said, "Hey, him pick on somebody else."
It's more air now, but before it sounded like voices.
You got a little feedback there, brother.
Do I?
Yeah, got a little echo.
Oh, you know why?
I just adjusted my volume. How about now, y'all? How about now?
You
I
good?
think he's fine. I think he was hearing himself, CJ.
No.
But like I said, the thing is, again, great basketball. I think the reason it was so watched this year was because of the John Cena last year from Caitlin that was imitated in the championship game, and so there was a lot of build up to this
Oh,
game,
absolutely.
and that and,
Absolutely.
and that's the kind of must see TV that you just don't get on the men's side anymore, because those players would have to take that battle to the NBA.
Mm.
Right.
They
Right.
wouldn't be able to duplicate that again, because most kids aren't trying to stay 1 or 2. Because again, just injuries. I could get hurt next year, even if it means that I'm not a top 10 pick, but I'm still a first round pick. I'm in the league, and I can and no and actually, it's easier for the NBA. It's easier for second round or late round, first round guys to get to the money quicker, because their deals aren't as long. And that way, if they can perform in their rookie years and second year, they can actually re-sign to a long-term contract, a heavier contract, before the top guys get to it.
That's a good point, because the first round picks are the ones with the fully guaranteed contracts. The way it works, then the guys that get drafted after that end up with not fully guaranteed contracts and shorter contracts. So you're right; they can opt out faster, provided they perform very well,
Yeah,
and be
but you're
able
betting on yourself, so yeah.
to bet on yourself, and you can sign more supermax deals a lot quicker. You definitely can. Now, the first round picks, though, when they get to their supermax deal, they're eligible for an extra year, which does make their overall contract bigger in that respect. But hey, with your second round pick and you get a max deal, ain't nobody crying for you, because you about to get the bag anyway. But when we talk about the difference between that and women's basketball, there still is a huge gap in between, that I do feel like, even though it's still a huge gap, I still think that it's gotten a lot closer. And I'm not going to say necessarily just because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, but I will say that more and more females are being tuned into women's basketball in general. But I do think that even this particular game brought some eyeballs out from folks that are not female, that just wanted to see a good game, and I think they got a good game. To be honest with you, there was some, like I said, the questionable charge, whether it was a charge, whether it wasn't, didn't take away from the game. It happens. Um, I hated the fact that the girl from Iowa got called for a charge, and she wasn't even looking. And she just happened, the other girl saw that she wasn't looking and just stood in front of her and waited for her to knock her the hell down. It was absolutely hilarious, and it was a foul, and it's the right call. Now, I will say, Jermaine, whether you agree with that the charge that Angel Reese had or not, it had to be something. And I'm glad they at least blew the whistle, because I get tired so many times of something happens and no whistle gets blown. And it's like, okay, it's got to be one thing or the other. It can't not be nothing.
I'm a firm believer in consistency in the calls.
Me too.
And so if you're going to intervene, to intervene. If you're going to let people play, because that's how, as a player, I know what's going on. I can figure out in the first quarter how this, in the first couple minutes, how
Right.
this game's going to be riffed. And
Right.
if it means that in this game that it's me and my opponents, and I get to muscle up and stuff, and we're going to see who's stronger, the kind of thing, then that's what it is. But if it's going to
Be that
be
way in the first quarter and the fourth quarter.
a consistency throughout, because because if I know that they're calling fouls, then I'm making moves towards the basket.
Right.
Because it changes the way I play. It changes the way the coach should be drawing up plays. It changes everything. If we know that it's going to be rough and tussle, and maybe we're not that team, then it changes the way that we play again, how we play defense, and how our offense is schemed.
Yeah.
We're not going to. I'm not going to send my small point guard down the middle for him to get murdered, knowing that he's not going to get a call. But if that is the case, he is going to get a call. Then go down there, and
Yeah.
I know he shoots 87% from the line. We're going to get our points there.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it was kind of the same way back in the day. I don't know if you remember the Hack-a-Shack, where the strategy was so crazy that if Shaquille O'Neal was in a game, at the end of the game, he was more of a liability, because they would just put their 7th, 8th, 9th dude on the bench out there to basically foul Shaq when he got the ball, because they knew he's gonna miss the free throws, and that way they could the clock would stop. He would hilariously miss free throws. You get a rebound, and you have a chance to basically. So basically, it was a way of getting the ball back without stealing the ball. You just basically had Shaq miss free throws.
Yeah, and that worked really well till he got to the Lakers and he started hitting his free throws more consistently, and he was at least going 1 for 2 on free throws, and sometimes 2 for 2, and so it didn't work out as well. But yes, strategy.
Yes, that definitely was a strategy. It was hilarious, and I know it frustrated him too. But yeah, I mean, if you were going to leave him out there, and speaking of LSU, that's where the big man went. So yeah. Anywho, CJ, I don't know if you saw any of that game, but how you feel about women's college basketball taking a $12.3 million spotlight on Monday night?
As far as me watching it, it was hit and miss. I was spotty. I was too busy trying to feed my face. But I'm just being honest, bro.
Yo, I love the honesty.
It was right after church, bro. So I was like, let me get something to eat. But
right.
As far as the increase, man, I would say more power to him, bro. I honestly, I was one of those viewers that fell for the. I don't want to say fall for it, but I like the way that they build that whole, like John Cena, type of, situation, because it got viewers like me. It got my attention. So I was like, oh, sure. Yeah. I want to watch that. That seemed like some good rivalry right there, and hearing all the talking stuff like surrounding and everything. And that's what it's for. Like the whole marketing thing and making sure that, you got people that are kind of like me, not really a fan, just appreciators of the sport, because fans are going to watch it regardless, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. But the idea is, I would imagine in my head, is to get viewers like myself, into it and then more invested and so forth. And so I think that strategy actually worked.
Oh yeah, there was a certain billing, and the whole John Cena thing. Apparently, Caitlin Clark last year, leading up to the finals, was known as a huge trash talker.
Yeah,
and would a lot of times do that with her opponents, because rightfully so, she was smoking them. So she was basically saying, "You can't see me."
Right.
But the crazy part is that last year, when Angel Reese's team got the best of Iowa, and Angel Reese started doing that towards the direction of Caitlin Clark, Angel got a lot of pushback for doing it in the first place. They're like, well, hold up.
And that's what got my attention.
I'm only giving this chick what she been doing to everybody else. Now that she getting some of her own, now it's a problem.
Right.
A couple things. If you want to talk trash, if you want to be a trash talker, then you need to be that 24/7. And so what I would say is that, and I like Reese, I'm not taking anything away from her, but at the end of the game when you're weeping and stuff like that, that's not Kobe. That's not mama mentality. If you gonna talk trash, you gotta talk trash. I'm serious. I you know what I mean? Like in the problem is that if you're watching this, you go, well, it's women's sports, then you're the one with the problem, not me. Because we want everybody.
Right.
It's one of those. So my oldest children, I got two older daughters and stuff, but my oldest children, I tell them, I said, you're in that I want to be an adult, I want to be a child kind of thing. You can't be this is women's sports and we're equal at the same time. Which do you want to be?
Yeah.
You want to be paid equal? Do you want to play equal? You gotta. And so when you're talking about your characters, and that's the other thing too. Like we can talk about that game and how much attention it got. How about the rest of the tournament?
Right.
How much attention did those games get?
Yeah, did nobody pay?
Now that LSU is out of it, how much is the championship going to get?
It depends because actually, NC State and South Carolina, both in their own right. Now, do I say, well, aside from South Carolina, NC State, do they have the same cachet as the other teams that are going there? No. They have a pretty good following. And what's helping NC State's following this year is the men are in the Final Four too.
Right.
And the same thing with UConn. The UConn women and the men are in the Final Four, which I don't know if that's ever happened to have two men's and women's teams both in the Final Four at the same time.
I don't know too, but UConn used to do it religiously
all the time. Yeah, when Gino Auriemma was
they used to do it religiously.
So you talking about Gino and Pat Summitt back in the Connecticut, Tennessee days.
Here's the thing that I would bring to you about the viewership and stuff. Women's success is also part of their problem too. South Carolina, as great as they are, blow people out by like 50 points and are doing Macarena dances on the sidelines. Nobody wants to watch that. But I mean, South Carolina fans want to watch it. But is it appeals?
They almost lost the other day, and I think more people watch those games to see. It's almost like being a Cowboys hater. It's half the people watch them because they root for them, but the other half want to see them go down and burn.
I think it's 70% want to see them go
absolutely.
down. I don't think
Absolutely.
I think they are full Cowboy numbers.
Yeah. I just saying, that is. No, I have no, Jermaine. They haven't quite reached that status yet.
No, not legendary. I mean, I'm saying
no. Nobody has reached the level of hate as Cowboys haters. Nobody in any sport.
I mean, going in that Cowboy, not Cowboy.
Yeah, you can make it. You can make it Cowboy-ish. You can put it in the ish category.
It's an ish. I'm not saying no. Cowboys are legendary. Cowboys are right up there with the Cowboys are right up there with the DMV. The 40-hour work week,
bruh. You know what? And y'all know me. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. I am DC4L. Y'all know me. I'm DC4L. But that shit is funny. Okay,
I'm just saying
that. Listen, if you can't laugh at yourself, you can't laugh at yourself. You don't just stop breathing. Okay, stop breathing. Listen,
that is a different kind of hate.
Yeah, I'm not even.
If you even reach that kind of hate in your life, boy, you done some really heinous stuff to some people, man.
But my point is that South Carolina is so successful. The top tier women teams, and that's also been a problem in women's basketball, is that a lot of the great players would either only go to, like in the past, UConn, Tennessee, South Carolina recently became a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But the collection of talent in women's basketball, there wasn't enough talent to make tournaments or conferences must see TV.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing. And it's still the case because, again, the two most popular women played, showed out, and now one's gone. And you're like, okay, is Caitlin going to be enough to draw viewership to her games by herself? I mean, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nobody's going to watch, but I'm saying, are they going to do 12 million? Are they going to do 10 million like last year?
To your point, I agree with you. I think they hit the climax of viewership because you had two compelling stories and two compelling characters coming head to head. Head to head. Nice name. Anyway, so
you use climax. I would use pinnacle, but go ahead.
Well, I use words that I'm used to.
You familiar with?
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
You hear me coming? Oh, look at Lori. Lori's just like, oh my God.
All the way up.
I'm so prude. Anyway, so I think they've hit it already. And now they're coming off their peak. I'm sorry. No climax thing. But yeah, so now are the rest of the games, there's only 2 games left, of course, Final Four and then the final. But have they reached their maximum viewership or their highest peak in that? And I do believe that they've done that. I do believe that Caitlin Clark's fans and followers will continue to watch her. I do believe that other people will continue to watch, but do I think it'll come to what we just saw this past Monday? Absolutely not. But just kind of wanted to throw that out there because I saw it was fascinating. Back in the days when I went to school, women's college basketball was really just kind of gaining a little steam. North Carolina had just won the women's championship back in the Charlotte Smith, Tanya Sampson days. Shout out to cousin Charlotte, who's now the basketball coach, I believe, at Elon University, head coach, and she's been there for a couple of years. I think she's like, but anyway, let's change gears. So I don't know if y'all saw this on Sunday. I was gonna bring it up in my what burns me, and I may do a separate one. Which, by the way, y'all, that little what burns me, what I normally do at the end of the show is I'll clip the show into different parts. So people that don't want to rewatch a whole hour and a half long show, I'll break them up into smaller pieces and then post them on YouTube. Or that's what I've been looking to do. So I started with the burn me section, and the burn me section last week entailed MSNBC giving Ron Romney McDaniel a platform and then snatching it back after the anchors said, "Oh hell no." Mm-hmm. Man, that thing's over 100-something views already in the last week. So it actually does work. So I do thank everybody for tuning in for that. Do look for more of that because, again, we do want to expand the network. As I said earlier, we are on our drive to 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube platform, and we have picked up quite a few over the last 2.5 weeks alone. So we do thank everybody for that, and we'll continue to remind folks of that, to just share it with everybody that you can to help grow the network on Amazon Fire, Roku, as well as YouTube TV as well. But I do have a good burn for later. So I'll save that one. But I don't know if y'all heard this outrage from Easter.
Yeah, man. Gee, man.
So I'm just.
I almost reacted to that. I almost did. I almost did a show on it all by itself.
I don't know why.
Stupidity, bro.
Some Christians feel like they have to be a victim.
These are full Christians, bro. Okay,
at the expense of other people. So, but I'm gonna let you jump in. But what happened is that March 31st for the last 15 years has been called Trans Awareness Day. Mm-hmm. And Joe Biden had the nerve to acknowledge that that's what it was. But then he also acknowledged that March 31st this year was Easter and had well wishes for Easter. And the religious community took that as Joe Biden made March 31st Trans Awareness Day, when March 31st for the last 15 years has been Trans Awareness Day. What these ignorant people or disingenuous people do not let people know is Easter happened to be on March 31st this year. Easter does not fall on the same day every year. So to let people understand how Easter works, Easter follows is the first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox. Now that's a lot. So that can be in March, that can be in April. It all depends on when the full moon happens on or after the spring equinox. So the spring equinox happened this past Sunday, Easter would be this coming Sunday. But because the equinox had already happened, and y'all know that it did because it's been getting lighter outside, that the equinox had already happened. So Easter this year fell on March the 31st, which coincided. Now listen, it doesn't even matter to that point if they coincided. Whether it's Trans Visibility Day or not does not take away from the fact that it's Easter. And it's quite funny how people get so bogged down on what day Easter is, but will use pagan activities to celebrate Easter.
That's my point. You just hit it.
Because
you just hit it.
You know, I don't remember the story in the Bible when they saw that the tombs stone in front of the grave had been rolled over and then looked down to the side and said, man, them some pretty Easter eggs.
That came from a bunny. That came from a rabbit. Man, you just made my point. I was trying to hold it in, but like I said, I was about to do a reaction. Because everybody knows that follows your platform. Y'all know that I take my Christianity and me following the Bible very, very seriously. And when I hear and see how these, I call them faux Christians or Christian by name only. What's their actual thing? Are they what's their title?
Rhinos, Republicans in name only.
Yeah, but
are these CNOs?
Protestants? No, they're not Protestants. They are. What's their category?
Evangelists?
No, evangelicals.
Evangelicals.
No. It's something else, but it's very, very close. It's very, very close. So, but when I hear it, I mean,
white people.
Or are you slow?
Oh, I love it.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know if that's what.
Listen,
I mean,
I'm sorry. Okay, but look, no.
Damn!
There, my brother. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Because you ain't talking about primitive Baptists is all I'm trying to say.
Oh, right, for real.
In other words, these I'm just gonna call them Fox Christians.
Fox and Friends.
Yeah, Fox and Friends and all this other stuff.
5.
They only do these things for what they are really trying to do, and that's to just continually to feed their base with fear and ignorance.
And they believe it.
They believe it just because someone said it.
Yeah.
That came from their panel.
That's true.
I really, really thought about it, and I'm like, but if I did a reaction to their ignorance, would I not just be strengthening what they really trying to do? Because how many people are really going to listen to facts? Why? Because facts is boring. Facts are I don't know where you got that from. So it's going to be denied. It's going to be pushed to the side. Different things like that. Case in point, I've been very, very fortunate for my last couple of shows that I've done. on Elephant Exposed as a combined viewership. Okay, not all at once. I wish it was. I broke 3,000 very easy in viewership. But as soon as I started going back to my regular topics, then there's your decline. Why? Because people love drama. They love controversy. They love, problems and issues and so forth. But nothing that really, justice is boring. Different things like that. And so I kind of put that in there too. So if you start hitting them up with facts and debunctions and stuff like that, you it's not going to go nowhere. It's going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah, a lot of it does. But I always say this: keep sowing the seed. It may break through somewhere, but if you feel compelled to do it, but I do understand the reservation behind it because there's a certain folk that want things to be true. So when somebody says Joe Biden is acknowledging trans people on our day, how dare he? But has no problem with their God Emperor peddling sticky ass Bibles for $59.99 to help pay for cases where he committed adultery against his wife during Holy Week.
On Holy Week.
Yeah.
But they don't see that. Like it's
because you have to do like this. You got to squint one eye, turn your head to the side like this, and go.
Yeah, you got to. You got to kind of can't.
Not if you live in America. You don't have to squint at all. You can look straight forward. You can have a straight face.
Why?
Without any remorse and stuff, because this country is based on racist ideals and stuff, and so it's okay. You
got them. We fucking got them.
And you're right. You are right. It was evangelical.
So like when you look at that, you go, well, why would they say that? Because lying to the base is their play.
It is.
And it's like any relationship. We've all known somebody to be in a bad relationship where there's somebody that maybe a partner's unfaithful, maybe they're abusive and stuff. And we always say, why do they stay in that relationship? Can't they see? You say the facts and stuff. And I'll just tell you, CJ, C-SPAN. No one has a favorite show or episode of C-SPAN. You're absolutely right. People love drama. You can go. People pay to go see the baddies of whatever that stupid show is.
Yeah,
that make people go pay them on Tubi or whatever channel comes on for them to subscribe to see women behaving badly. But you can in this country.
I would say Charlotte gets probably more views than C-SPAN.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
absolutely. Because everybody wants. You're right. Everybody wants the drama and stuff, but there are people, and it's not just this relationship with the GOP. It's in everyday relationships where people like to be lied to.
Yeah,
and they want to, because they want to be victims and they want to be enraged and stuff. And so a lot of people, especially when you're talking about whiteness in this country and stuff, and what the benefit to whiteness is, so why is that such a big thing to them? Is because it justifies when we say that we don't have more privilege than anybody else. Look at how we're being attacked for our Christian values. Look at how our homes and our jobs are being threatened. Look at how we reinvent economic standards and stuff, or the standard of living, and we just blow past. A lot of people talk about Trump's presidency, and they talk about, man, I made more money back then. Did you?
No, you didn't. And see, that's what people don't.
There was a badly handled pandemic going on that I remember downturned the economy. And what I remember, if you're going numbers for numbers, Joe Biden has a better economy.
Yes, sir. By far.
Growth, employment is lower. I mean, it's by far, metric-wise, a better economy. Yet people are willing to believe the lie and go and reimagine like these bad relationships. Well, you know what? Sean's kind of boring because that's how Joe Biden is. He's that boring dude. But Peanut is getting out. I mean, he might be going back in because he's facing 91 charges. But Peanut getting down and stuff, and I think I might want a little more romance with Peanut because I kind of like that. This has nothing to do, like you again say, CJ, it has nothing to do with facts. It's all about feelings and stuff. Again, even the supporters of Trump will sit there and tell you, well, the pandemic. Obama had a pandemic that he had to deal with, but he just dealt with it so well, it didn't become a big thing. When the Ebola, which I thought it went away with the dinosaurs and stuff, popped back up and came to America. And it was a big deal. They tracked those people down. They came on the planes. They isolated them. They took it as serious as a heart attack. And they not only did they understand that it was important to treat the cases here, the vaccines that we had for it and stuff, we shipped it back over to Africa where it came from because we said if we'll put the fire out where it started, it won't spread.
That's right. You hit the base of it.
And but this is all adult talk, right? And that's the reason it never, the reason that they don't talk about it the same way is because there was an idiot that handled it and said, you know what, we'll just leave people on a cruise ship and it'll just stay out there and we don't have to worry about it. And you know what? And also because that crime family, because that's what they are. They would talk about the Joe Biden crime family, but he's not the one out here selling Bibles and everything else and shortchanging and 91 charges, blah blah blah. But they sat there and decided that they were going to make a profit off of this, like they think they can make a profit off everything, and that's why the PPE got messed up and why it allowed the something that could have been contained and something that could have been like a heavy flu season developed to a 2-year-long ordeal. And so and the only reason I bring all that up is to say is that with all that insurmountable evidence in front of them, you don't have to look away or squint or sideways because these people love the lie.
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. And so and because I know that they love that lie, that's why I had and have my reservations of even doing reactions to even things like that. I would just rather just stay in my lane, even though sometimes I am so tempted to
Well, I don't know.
fact check.
I kind of I like people to, do I always put a message out there because I think it's going to change the views of the masses? No, because
Message.
most society are it's just like the people that went to the Iowa LSU game. You didn't really have too many people there that didn't know who they were rooting for. They went there rooting for whoever they were rooting for. When people watch Fox News, it's not because they said, I'm so used to watching MSNBC. Let me just see what's going on Fox. People don't just normally do that. Not regular people. Now, people that are just trying to get some clips and things like that for their shows may sit there and want to watch and, those kind of things. But for the most part, everybody has their team affiliation and they wear their jerseys and they wear them proudly. People that watch this show, are there going to be some that come on it that share be as ideologically aligned? Possibly. But most of the folks that are going to watch the show probably agree with more than 80% of the things that we normally talk about. But it doesn't mean that somebody's not going to take a hold of it. But it also lets the people that view UCJ know that, hey, this is where this guy has stood. I can watch videos from 3 years ago when he would talk about stuff and his position hasn't changed. Or if he has evolved into certain things, you can see the progressive evolution. But if you don't speak on certain things, then a lot of times people don't really see that evolution or that consistency in what it is that you have to say. And a lot of times it's about making the people around you stronger than necessarily being able to bring somebody back in. I don't do this show to get any converts, but if any of them happen as a result, hey, God bless. But
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, CJ. Is that I think the strength of your platform is you being able to speak on that stuff. Again, it's not because, and I know exactly what you mean, like viewership and stuff, because people are like, oh, Jamila Hill, former ESPN anchor, all around funny woman and stuff. Um, Gets a lot of flack, and a lot of people call her a race baiter and stuff like that. And in fact, I'm sure if I was known to millions of people, they would probably call me the same thing.
Oh, big time.
They're big
Oh,
time,
yeah.
right? Because
Oh, yeah.
oh, he's always tying something in and da 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 da.
America's
And
racist. America.
yeah,
Can't,
and according to franchise, America's a racist. You know what? And you know what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I almost want to amend that ticker because
still do it.
with the word it's a historically racist country.
I guess, let's be
so-
accurate.
well, because so here's the thing: do I believe that everything in America is racist right now? Nope, I don't. Um, I do find it interesting that of all the sexual predators that they would go after, Diddy somehow made it to the top of the list. And it's I you know I didn't see them doing that to Weinstein. Thank you.
I gotta say because he's the Weinstein, is he not?
Well,
of rap.
I think well, I just believe when we talk about how do we get here, because that's an important thing to understand. How did we get here? Why are these things the way they are? Why are we continuing to talk about these things decade after decade after decade after decade? And I'll just in real brief because I can be long winded. I have a picture behind me behind my sign of Tuskegee Airmen because I was in the Air Force. I was a flyer. There's a heritage there, and my daughter looked at that old picture and said, "Is one of them you?" I said,
Kennedy?
no, that was Kai. And I said, no, darling. I'm not an original Tuskegee Airman.
Dang, what's she trying to say? She's trying to say you old, were you that skilled?
Well, that's the Grays say it. But the thing is that it led to a good conversation, and we end up watching Tuskegee Airman movie. It's an old one from 1995. It had
was that one with Cuba?
With Cuba.
Yep. That's the one I know.
Great movie, right?
Yeah.
And so we looked at that, and it was so funny because a couple of weeks ago we were talking about basically DEI and a comment made by what's that? The white guy's name. He was talking about the pilots every time he looks at black pilots.
Oh, that racist mother effer.
Yeah. And so it's so funny because
he got the right stuff.
The same points that he was making were the same things that they were talking about for Tuskegee Airmen. The same stuff. The exact same stuff. And how is it that we are 80 because that was in the 40s, 60, 30, almost we're 70, 80 years later, and we're talking about the same stuff. It's because this country is historically racist. That's what I mean when I say that historically, and why did we get here? Why are those same talking points aggravating and infuriating for black people now? Because of the history of this country, they keep, even though it's been dispelled time and time and time again, the same points keep coming back up. And why? Because that racism is ingrained into the culture of the country. It can't die. The only way to kill the racism in this country would be to kill the country itself. It's just that ingrained. It's just that ingrained and stuff. This America suffers from stage 4 racism.
Dang.
It's terminal.
Dang, that is terminal. That is the point of no return.
Well, because the problem is that once something interweaves itself in the fabric of damn near everything, if you try to pull it out, it's going to sit there and cause a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, instead of going through the pain of the damage, just continue on with it the way that it is.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps it going. So
yeah,
very, very good observation, Jermaine. I wanted to throw this also real quick, like 5 minutes worth of just acknowledge, since you brought up Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro and his company actually let go one of their top performers not too long ago, and that would have been one Candace Owens, who is no longer working for the Daily Mail.
And no, she cannot come to the cookout. No. So don't even ask.
So I was gonna ask if it's okay that I invite her to be a panelist on the show.
No. And I'm saying that politely.
Yeah. Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
Hell to the no.
Candace rode that wave and everything else. She'll probably pop back up somewhere else doing God knows what. But yeah, Daily Wire did finally get rid of her. They're not really saying a whole lot right now.
She was
which is smart on their part because with the way that defamation and litigation works these days, tread very lightly. So Ben Shapiro, even when they're asking him, "Hey, what happened? Did you censor her? Was it because she started saying all this stuff about Jews and Israel and all these kind of things? Did you guys basically just say, we can't have that on our network or whatever?" And he doesn't want to really go into any detail because he's afraid that if he gives a reason and it looks like it was an attack on her character or impugning her character, then she's going to try to take him to the cleaners for defamation. So they're not really saying a whole lot right now.
I'm sure she'll be suing him anyway. So he's right, and he doesn't know.
Oh, he's totally right.
Explanation.
Totally right.
But Candace, what she did right before she got fired was she went on Breakfast Club. She made the rounds in like black media and stuff.
Yeah.
And what she's trying to do a little damage control and try to reform her image and stuff. Candace is a very smart woman. Because she uses half truths and partial facts and stuff to argue her case and stuff, and she will tell you the same thing I've told you, but not in a master sub kind of way. That she's right. Democrats do not care about black people. Republicans don't care about black people either. But she's right when she says Democrats don't either.
Right.
And so she brings up a lot of good points, right? And I actually saw some people saying, I had to, she does say some things that are right and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, a clock is right twice a day. It doesn't mean that you would carry a broken clock around to tell time. And you getting your information from broken ass Candace Owens is wrong too. Just because she says some things that might be true, or not even might be, that are true, doesn't mean that the rest or her history. We talk about CJ, like, if we were to go back 3 years, let's go back and run the reel of all the effed up things she said about black people.
Right.
She is not the friend of the community. It has nothing to do with the fact that Jess Hilarious gave her a vibe check that she awfully failed on the Breakfast Club when she asked her, "God is good," and she looked back there and said, "Yeah, God is good."
Yeah.
Do you know how reflective that is? It's like if somebody hits your knee and your leg goes up all the time, it automatically come out without you even thinking about it.
She was so confused about why that was a thing. And it's like, yeah, because you're not part of the culture.
Yeah,
you're not. Yeah.
That was that was a phone check that I will never forget. Like,
great, isn't
he? Yes, he is good. Yeah, he's my friend.
and people say, why is that even important? Because if you're going to speak on behalf of a people, it would be important to know the culture of that people, and that's cultural stuff for us. And if you can't understand that basic thing about cultural stuff, if you come in here talking about some cherry flavored Kool-Aid, it's red, bitch.
I ain't never heard nobody say. Let me get that grape.
Right.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah. If you don't understand,
it's purple.
Purple
is a flavor.
If you don't understand that stuff,
red flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't understand that kind of stuff, you miss out on the details of the culture and stuff, or it just says you're not paying attention, and so
or interested. Mhm.
or
Mhm.
connected to. You're not a part of that culture.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
And
just not
it's
you
not
just
it's
not.
not that you can't comment on stuff that you're not a part of. You absolutely can, but you can't sell it as I'm a representative of this
Right.
culture that
You have
I'm
no
And
disconnected from.
as a matter of fact, was it Chappelle or our other comedian that was a part of his joke one time? He was just like, all this long time, people just assumed that he was from the hood, but he said he actually really wasn't, and it was just the way that he owned it. It made me laugh even harder, made me respect him even more because it's nothing like a funny truth that makes you now you are really invited because you're being your most genuine self,
Mhm.
you know, and that's you know even if you can't relate, just because you are being your most genuine self, I can rock with you then,
Yeah.
Well,
If
you
you're
know.
being authentic about it, yeah. If you're not trying to if you're not trying to sit there and be an imposter or uh try to represent something that is not you. Uh
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, people gonna rock with you. Everybody comes from a different place and we all recognize that. It's when those posers come in trying to represent something that they're not, and people can see right through you, and all that
Right.
does is hurt your credibility. The one thing that you're
Exactly.
trying to get from people is credibility, but the thing that you give away is your credibility when you have no authenticity. So
Right.
but
that's
I do think it's interesting that of all the ill stuff that she said about black people, as soon as she said something about white people, they fired her.
right. Well,
Because
that,
because it went against their
Seriously,
bottom
though,
line.
yeah,
they
your
did.
point of being here with us is to sit there and talk bad about them, not us. We need you to be the
Mhm.
mouthpiece. Oh, what do we have Christine say? I love it when I come into the talk on some ownership and truth telling. Well,
Yeah.
people always get that with Jermaine, Christina, because he always lets us know how America is what, Lori? Yeah, there you go. According to
There
Jermaine,
you go. Oh, she
America.
corrected it.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
oh,
did. She did. Yeah, well, and like I said, because
Ah,
I do I think that every white person is racist? I don't. Um, what I do believe is that most white people lie about the level of racism that they personally experience because I happen to know that white people, because we talk different around each other,
yeah, we
right?
do.
Black people talk different around each other.
Yeah, we code
White people
switch.
talk different around each other. There may be some things that they wouldn't say in a public setting, a mixed setting, I would say, but there are
Hmm.
things that are said privately. I got a friend of mine who's white, who was married to a black woman, and his kids are biracial and stuff.
Hmm.
And I was talking to him one day, and he was talking about the boys at the plant that he worked at, who were inviting him to Klan meetings, who were saying, it totally, yeah, because they feel comfortable around each other, and they say the quiet things are not quiet things there. They are
Yeah.
loud things. And when you go to your white church with your white friends at your white parties, and you got those uncles that everybody talk about, you
Hmm.
heard your uncle talking all this stuff, and then you get back in front of your black friends and say, I don't know, everybody thinks they're so racist. You heard all the racist stuff at your most comfortable places where it was
Yeah,
safe
yeah,
for
you
y'all to be
did.
racist, and then to come out and say that you don't know what we're talking about. That's
Right,
where I have the problem. You know exactly what we're talking about.
but
The
right.
feigned ignorance about it, just say, yeah, it is that way, but we're trying. You can at least, if you're going to tell the lie that you're trying to get better, that it doesn't exist as that way.
Right.
and we'll have to do
And
another show
and
on
and
this.
that's what I mean by ownership. But go ahead, B. Go ahead,
Same,
B.
but no, I was just thinking we'll have to do another show on that. But is racism adjacent still racism though?
Um,
I mean,
no, because now,
What do you
because
mean adjacent?
no. Well, listen. I think I know where you're going with it, and if you're going with it where I think you are, that leans more so towards prejudices versus racism.
but if you're, but what I'm saying is, if you're around it and you accept it,
Well, it
because
are you condemning it?
be-
Because
but
if you're not
you
condemning
have to
it, then
always
yeah,
condemn it with words.
then you must be for it.
do you have to always condemn it with words, or can you show acceptance by not saying, "Hey, I don't want to hear that"?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So are you condemning
Those are
it
words.
so like in action, or are you walking away from and be like, all right, you know what? That's y'all, or what, you know what I'm saying? So there's different ways to reject and denounce and separate and different things like that. But if you're doing what our brother is saying, if you're constantly going around it, you're hanging around it, you know the people, you know the conversation,
You already know what
and
they're going to start talking
yeah,
about.
And
then don't
my
sit up there
point.
in front and act like you got an issue or don't have an issue.
No, you can. People have an issue. My point is that when I say that this is a historically racist country, and if I had the viewership of a Jamila Hill, they would call me a race baiter because
Yeah,
a
they
lot
would.
of people don't feel that way. What
Right.
I'm saying is they don't feel that way, and they're also in these spaces where these things are happening. And so what I'm saying is that the hypocrisy of being in those spaces, seeing it firsthand, where it's actually more hidden hand for us, because we're at a point in the country, or we were at a point before Donald Trump became president, where people were actually moving away from openly being bigots. And that we were shaming people into better behavior, but not so much anymore. Donald Trump's presidency and rise to fame is that it's allowed people to speak in their truth, kind of thing, in the most awful way. But my point is not whether you're racist or not, but your denial of racism in this country. When I say this country is historically racist, and that it still is entwined in our culture and stuff, and you hear your uncle not just at Thanksgiving, when your baby's born, when something happens to you, and you get into a wreck with somebody that speaks Spanish and stuff, and they start going off about Mexicans and foreigners and stuff like that. When somebody in traffic cuts you off or something happens and stuff, and you're telling it, and people are coming back with all this racist rhetoric and stuff, and you hear it all the time, but then you'll say, "No, I don't think it's that bad." How could you not think it's that bad? You hear it all the time, and it might be because you hear it so much, huh?
Okay. That's a good point. Because I was gonna be before you said that part, I was sitting there thinking, but if you hear it and you know it, but you sitting here denying it, doesn't that have? Don't that mean that maybe you got a little bit of it yourself?
Probably there. So
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
swim in a pool of shit and not get some in your mouth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my
Exactly.
point. Yeah,
And
Yes.
that's my
so
point.
Absolutely.
It didn't mean that you put this shit in the lake, but you swimming in it.
and
Exactly.
and if you do it on a regular basis, you don't smell it as much. Whereas I
Right.
smell
Right.
it
Because you become used to your own odor.
yeah, they hear it,
So,
it's
yeah.
because it becomes that's just how they talk.
Right.
Exactly.
And you just notch it off to that, like they don't really mean nothing. That's just how it come out their mouth.
Yeah, but
Or,
you can't.
or,
But
or
when
they're older and that's how they grew up. Or you start making all these.
you make all these
Excuses.
excuses, yeah,
Excuses.
you do. You make all the excuses. But my thing is that why attack somebody like me who says, "Oh no, that's a pool of shit that you're swimming in.
Right.
That's feces."
Because
How dare you?
because I need to be the only one that sees it, but you don't have a right to see it because you ain't part of the ones that swim in it. So we don't need you
Look,
to acknowledge it.
I get it. I get it. Some people get upset when you point things out. I was sitting there the other day. I ran into this beautiful woman and stuff, and she had some pretty hair. And I said, "Hey, can I touch your hair?" And she said, "Okay." And then I touched her lip, and that's when the fight began.
Ah!
I get that
Oh,
sometimes
you are stupid.
I'm
You
not
are
supposed to see stuff that you know was there too.
Man.
Damn!
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, both of them.
Oh yeah. That was a good one.
Oh, God. Hey, he had me set up too. He set us up on that one.
That was a
That was a setup.
I'm just saying.
That's a 10, my brother. That's a 10.
I touched her lip.
I touched her lip. Hi, dog.
And that's when the fight began.
Oh, I'm done.
And that's
I'm
when
done.
the fight began.
Christina sends a response and has no response.
That's because she was probably responding until she heard the punchline.
Probably fell down in the middle of it.
My bad. My bad.
No, my brother.
There is a fall warning when you're around me. There's a
Oh my
fall
God.
warning.
Yeah, you need to be sitting down. All right, 10 minutes. 10 minutes left. I wanted to hit on this last subject, and I know it could really go well past 10, 12 minutes. But just the other day, the IDF, and for those that don't know what that is, it's a Israel Defense Force, sat there and bombed, had an airstrike on food aid provided by the World Central Kitchen. Anybody that knows celebrity chef Jose Andres, that is his organization, and 7 of his food aid workers were killed after dropping off tons of food at a refugee camp in northern Gaza. And he is claiming that they were targeted, and it seems that he's right, because what this aid group will normally do is coordinate with the IDF to let them know specifically where they are, where they're going to be. They take their vehicles and they put the logo for the World Central Kitchen on top of the vehicle so that they can see that that's who they are.
Yeah.
They bombed the first car, and miraculously, the people got out of it, ran to the second car. Then they bombed the second car. The ones that didn't get blown up then tried to run to a third car, where then they went and bombed the third car, all of them marked with World Central Kitchen. Israel is saying that this was an accident. This happens in war.
Sure, because the Twin Towers was an accident too.
Now,
man. Come on.
Israel is saying, well, we'll launch our investigation and get to the bottom of this. I'm sorry, you gonna launch an investigation on yourself? And
Sure.
and here's the effed up part of this. Joe Biden, you making it harder and harder and harder for me to come on this show and defend why people need to vote for your ass. Because are you a better alternative to Trump? In some ways, yes. But my God, the blatant and foolish backing that the United States has unconditionally, publicly. I don't know what they really say privately to them. They make it sound like they have these tough conversations with Israel. Well, it ain't working. You know, it's like having a kid and you be like, well, I'm gonna have a tough conversation with y'all, but then they continue to exhibit the same behavior. Sometimes you're gonna have to pull out that belt and whoop that ass. Sometimes them conversations ain't just enough. Sometimes you're gonna have to take it to another level. You can't say you're having tough conversations and then unilaterally keep sending them over bombs that they keep dropping on. Almost now 200 aid workers have been killed since October the 7th. And tell me that they are not targeting aid workers and using food as a weapon against Gazans who are now experiencing food insecurity. We are aiding and abetting a terrorist organization. And if anybody calls me anti-Semite for that, go the F off. I don't give a damn. The IDF is a terrorist organization. And we are aiding and abetting in that. Huh?
Ben is not going to hire you now.
I don't give a damn. Netanyahu, it ain't just a Netanyahu thing. Does he need to go? And there have been protests in Israel now, in Jerusalem, places like that about that too, where they're wanting elections because they know what this is. He has been under investigation for a while. They're looking to put his ass in jail, and he is sitting there trying to extend this because the longer he extends this, it keeps him. I'm sorry, I was reading Rand's comment, but he's sitting there.
That's bullshit.
Doing all these things to extend the war so that he doesn't have to face any kind of accountability. Christina says, treated food as a target and weapon is sad and ridiculous. My man Randall Hargrove, who we do our head-to-head show during the football season, I hate to say it, but you said it for me. Biden is making the Trump option look better and better, shaking my head. and Rand is not going to be alone in that. A lot of people are going to sit there. A lot of people are single issue voters, or when they see things happen, they a lot of times will make their decision about you about one specific thing. He is missing the boat on this because there is some Zionist romanticism with Israel for a lot of people, Israel chosen people, all this stuff, and they can't do no wrong. And if you say anything bad about Israel, you're being an anti-Semite.
But
That
there's
needs
good and bad
that,
in every nation, in every culture.
I mean,
That's that's the part that burns me up right there.
you see,
I
Jay,
mean,
because
I
if
get
somebody
that
in America
I
does
get the
something wrong,
overall
they're
picture.
anti-American. If somebody in America does something wrong, they're not anti-American.
Exactly.
So why is it that if you criticize something in Israel, you're automatically anti-Semite?
Well, because it has a religious connotation to it, one of the most direct religious connotations to it.
I mean, I get
the
that,
whole
my brother.
chosen people thing.
Right.
I get that. I get that. I mean,
Well, so but here's the thing, and so and I'm going to try to be as brief as I can about this. If anybody, so as my brother pointed out, there are protests in Israel. Not all Israelis believe that this war is just and it's been handled right. For everybody who would say, look at Israel and go, well, why can't they just get them out of there? I would point you back to the 2016 election and where we had Donald Trump running around representing America for 4 years. So idiots, has been proven, can vote another idiot in, or keep an idiot in power. And so when I make my comments about Israel, again, just like when I talk about racism and I use the term white people, I know there's an asterisk in there saying that it's not a total monolith and everybody believes all these things and stuff, even though as a race they totally benefit from it. Same thing here. The other thing too is that even though the matchup for November has been set, there are primaries still happening around the country. In fact, Trump was at a rally in Wisconsin, Michigan yesterday because they had theirs. One of the things to take out of that is that Republicans are still voting for Nikki Haley.
Right.
And other candidates. Trump is not as strong as he is in his party as you would think he would be, especially at this point when there's nobody else running against him. And what Biden is facing is a lot of people are going to vote, and they're either voting
undecided,
or like in New York, evidently doesn't have an undecided in the primaries and stuff. So they had people go in there and just filing blank ballots. Think about how much you dislike somebody or their policies and stuff to get up to wait in line to vote to turn in a blank ballot. If he's not listening to that, and I want to say it was in Michigan or Wisconsin.
It was
Michigan.
But they both had it. But I'm saying there was one of them where their goal was like 20,000 because that was the margin that he won by, and they got like 40,000.
I think it was Michigan.
Michigan.
I think so.
And so it's a big sounding that, hey, Americans are not cool with you throwing your hands up in the air like, well, I wish there was something I could do. If only I was the president of the United States.
Here's some more bombs.
Here's some more bombs and stuff, and here's some more cash.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing that, and not letting Joe Biden off the hook by no means, and then I'll get the Randall's thing, not letting him off by no means, but the partnership and the relationship between Israel and America is as old as Joe Biden is.
It's even older than that.
It's older, and if you can believe that, it's not just him.
Right. Well, and I'm glad you said that because you're right. A lot again, like I started the show with is that people remember the thing that they saw last. We're seeing Joe Biden do this, but what Biden is doing is, and I hate to say it this way, he's just basically keeping the status quo of U.S. policy with Israel.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have to keep following the script when they
change the narrative.
Changed,
right?
Adapt to that and not just say, "Well, this has been our policy for the last 75 years." Well, when things on the ground change, then you may have to change that policy. Christina says,
"Just an adapt."
I did make a note about Christina's thing was blank. It's not blank. I looked on my phone and she did have her emoji like this. It just didn't show up on my feed here. But anyway, she did say two things. Is he missing the boat or we just know there's some underhanded poker being played. I think the underhanded poker is just the simple fact that Israel has been and always has been, so therefore it always has to be. And then she says, "I'm voting for Shannon Sharp because he's bringing topics to light."
No,
So,
I'm voting. I'm actually voting for P Diddy on this. Follow me on this.
Stupid. Oh no.
Get Netanyahu in the room with Diddy and stuff, and Ned's like, I don't care what you say. He goes to leave, and he's checking door handle and stuff. He can't get in. He's there. Doom, 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 doom. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't.
Get home and raise your kids.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Take that.
Get that.
Okay, so
Bad boys for life.
Yeah, that's cleaning up Gaza, baby. That's how you clean up Gaza. Bad boy for life.
Bad boy for life, baby.
Lori, please save us. What time is it? All righty. Here's that time of the show where we talk about what is it that I don't like. That'd be real like. Oh God. Hey, we're gonna have to next time we do that, we're gonna have to coordinate and get some real flashy clothes so I can be Mason, you can be Diddy, and do our little thing like that. All the world, baby. Okay.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. Go ahead.
Lori, please save us. What is it that you don't like?
The fact that you started talking about dancing and the Diddy and take that and shiny suits. That's what I don't like right now. Because all three of y'all, I'm going to sit here the next show is going to have on shiny suits and hats. Or you might just start channeling Beyonce's Cowboy Carter and y'all going to come up with some damn craziness. That's what I don't like.
Kenny said, I've been all around the world. Y'all been player hating.
Oh, man.
Yes. I like it. I'm sorry, CJ. What is it that you don't like?
Actually, I had a couple of things.
All right,
but I'm just gonna settle it down to one. Get a little serious. This is to me this is a us problem, a culture problem.
Yep.
I can't stand the way that we eat our own in public platform. Whether we right, wrong, indifferent, or whatever, we need to stop feeding every issue and handling every issue so publicly, because the only thing we're doing is really being entertainment for those who really despise us and hate us and don't want for us to grow, be successful, and to have a good standing. It's kind of hard to grow when we're constantly cutting down our own, and even when we're dealing with an actual situation that let's just say that someone is truly guilty of, whether it's a crime or whatever, but it's kind of sad to see the way that we just eat our own. I mean, and we just don't stop. I mean, it gets relentless, and that's what I don't like.
All right. JP, what you got?
Nothing that serious.
Sorry, bro.
Man, that was God damn.
He still,
I was like, should I change up what I don't like? Because I feel like the closer the conversation's changed. Look, man, I've been in North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina, born here in Charlotte, which makes part of the Unicorn Club here for Charlotte. Both in the fact that I was born here and that I'm willing to be part of your couple. But what I don't like about this place after years and years and years is that I fell asleep outside and I woke up looking like the Grinch. I hate pollen. I do not like pollen out here. It is the most ridiculous shit that I've ever seen. It is green snow. Why do I have to wash everything around me every day?
Oh,
Where
God.
is this shit coming from?
I didn't know we had that many trees, bro. Like, and they called themselves
didn't
cutting it
realize-
down.
I feel like the world has been skeeting for the last week and a half, and I'm tired of it.
Take that, get that,
Take that,
get that.
Randall says, I don't like the Angel Reese bash. Grown men need to grow up. I will definitely say that too.
Okay, all right, that's a good one.
Easy target a lot of times for people.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So I'll conclude what I don't like, and then I'll give you my burn moment. What I simply don't like is, again, we started the show, or part of the show. Y'all need help. That is probably true. That is probably true. But what I don't like is people trying to take holidays that don't belong to them. I will remind you, faux Christians, that March 31st is not always Easter, but I tell you what it also was that you infringed upon, and that would be Ramadan. And I sure enough didn't hear any of our Muslim brothers sitting there saying, how dare you have Easter during our religious time.
Exactly.
So think about that. Anyway, Lori, give me the what burns me, please. Can you find it?
Or not.
Or not.
She's fired.
It's to your right.
Come on, Lori.
Click it again.
Come on, Lori. My birthday is a holiday, and your birthday is a holiday, and I'm taking all them days. Lori, you got it?
You got it?
You got it? Okay, thank you very much.
Hey.
I'll be right back. All right. So most of you have already heard that there was a huge tragedy that happened at the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, about a week ago, where a tugboat lost power. I'm not a tugboat, but a ship lost power and actually crashed into the bridge, and it brought the bridge down. The response has really been just getting on my nerves, that a lot of people on the right want to blame the mayor because he happens to be black, and there was something to do with DEI. Other people have said, well, we don't think the government needs to pay for it. We ain't do nothing. We ain't had nothing to do with it. They need to pay for it. Or we need to figure out what we can cut to offset the cost of taking care of this bridge. When there's natural disasters, when there are tragedies like this, we all come together to be Americans first and take care of this. But because Donald Trump has talked bad about Baltimore over the years, calling it rat infested and trying to demonize Baltimore and things like that, partially because of the late Elijah Cummings was a representative of that state, and he just totally didn't like that. It's just come to a very crazy level. And then you hear Donald Trump refer to migrants as animals. Now, the people that we know that lost their lives on the bridge were immigrants. They were trying to do work on the bridge, filling potholes to make commuters' drives a lot easier. These are not people that come to the country bringing in fentanyl, committing crimes, or anything else like that. Yet Donald Trump would love to tell you that everyone that comes to this country that is brown is an animal, to dehumanize people. So what I wanted to do in this instance is take that back from that son of a bitch. Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes, Miguel Luna, Maynor Yasser Suarez Sandoval, Dorleanne Castillo Cabrera, Jose Manuel Lopez. They're not animals. They're fathers, they're brothers, they're sons, they're people, and they are Americans. We need to stop demonizing people because their lives matter. And we will say their names and we will remember them for what they did. That's my burning moment, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Head to Head. Let me thank my co-host Lori Parker, Mr. TNTBS CJ Jones, and somewhere around, he's doing his Diddy dance. Or I'm sorry.
I love it.
By my beautiful niece, Miss.
I love it.
Miss Kyle Lauren. How you doing, Kyle?
Good. How are you?
I'm beautiful. Thank you.
What are we talking about?
Oh Lord.
And she's about to take over. I love it.
Parker. Kyle, we need to get you your own podcast so you can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So
Yay, I can't wait.
we're gonna have to make that happen. But yeah, she looks really good in that chair, don't she, y'all? Oh, when I see that, y'all, it does make me feel like we got a chance for the future. It really does. So, with that said, y'all, this is Head to Head. We'll see y'all again next week. Peace.
This is ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.